Hello, my name is Jay Nicholson, and I will be presenting infrastructure and transportation. As stated here, the purpose of this chapter is to define infrastructure. Infrastructure refers to the physical systems and facilities that support the health and safety of citizens and supply the foundations for urbanized societies. In other words, infrastructure is the highways and bridges, airports, mass transit, water supply and wastewater treatment, inland waterways and ports, solid and hazardous waste facilities, public buildings and grounds, utility and communication systems. According to the text, infrastructure became sort of a naughty word during the 90s. However, following some pretty spectacular catastrophes such as the one pictured here, infrastructure has been renewed to the American lexicon. Many municipalities use various quality indexes ranging from visual windshield surveys to technical testing, most of which have highly variable constraints on how items are rated. The impact of the legal context on infrastructure management has been the support of building new facilities at the expense of maintaining existing facilities. What this means is that while the Fed and states are pushing municipalities towards the next bridge, there is no money for upkeep of the bridges that have already been crossed. Concerning strategies for the future, it is imperative that infrastructure managers get political. Building relationships with associations and legislators helps to gain support for maintaining infrastructure projects and systems. Hire top-notch managers. Public infrastructure is a multi-billion-dollar industry. While it is often difficult for municipalities to compete for employees, it is important to bring the best and brightest. Educate. It is integral to not only seek out highly educated personnel, but just as important to provide learning and training opportunities to keep your entire workforce advancing. Go back to basics. Review activities to determine where you can trim the fat. Good operations and maintenance are cost effective. Plan. At every level, strategic, capital, operational, and maintenance levels, infrastructure managers should be planning how to focus limited resources to accomplish the mission. Pursue new technology. New tech is being developed at an ever-advancing pace. Managers need to be able to harness these technologies and utilize them to benefit their citizens. Be proactive. One of the most, if not the most important job of managers is to educate the public on infrastructure issues. A 1989 national poll conducted for the National Solid Waste Management Association ranks ensuring adequate disposal of solid waste third on a list of extremely serious local concerns. The only two items to top it were improving public education and providing affordable housing. Thousands of landfills have been closed between 1978 and today. While many place a high priority on waste disposal, the not in my backyard mentality shows that relatively few would be willing to have a landfill located nearby. This chapter is to identify opportunities for local government managers and management problems in the area of solid waste disposal. Throughout the 70s and 80s, local government managers were primarily concerned with the who and how of garbage collection. However, following the implementation of the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, a basis was established for decisions on solid waste disposal. RCRA regulations mandate everything from the siting to the closure of landfills, coupled with the EPA's agenda for action. Guidelines there has been a big push to reduce the current solid waste streams. Citizen involvement in the successful siting of disposal facilities has proven to be essential in order to cull complaints and gain buy-in. Human resources management. Public works functions such as solid waste disposal involves a highly diverse workforce. Successful managers will be able to meet the needs of their highly skilled and unskilled employees. With the labor pool declining, it is important for a manager to develop the technical and managerial skills of the agency's existing employees. The preferred method for managing an integrated solid waste program is by managing disposal through the 4 R's and 2 B's. Reuse. The use of a product more than once in its same form for the same purpose. This basically refers to purchasing reusable goods versus one-time use items. Reduction. This ties hand in hand with reuse. By reusing items, there will be a reduction of items added to the waste stream. Recycling. The process by which materials otherwise destined for disposal are collected, recovered, and reused. Many items that are recycled are converted to new products or new versions of their old cells. Resource recovery is the extraction and utilization of materials and energy from the waste stream. Co-production strategies, reuse, reduction, and recycling require extensive public education. Co-production methods work best if everyone is involved. Students of all grade levels, social club members, industry leaders, business owners, and government officials themselves. School children can be some of the best educators for their parents. In the short article, Public Perceptions of Pricing Existing Roads and Other Transportation Policies, the Texas Perspective, Kockelman and her team attempt to justify the implementation of toll roads throughout Texas. While traffic congestion and infrastructure deterioration place great pressures on the nation's transportation systems, transportation spending is tightly constrained and regularly characterized by significant budget shortfalls. This is due to stagnant gas taxes and an aging infrastructure. When it comes to financing transportation needs, 61% of Texans favor toll conversion, while only 23% prefer raising the gas tax. In a nationwide survey conducted by AAA, it suggested that 52% of Americans favor tolling, while only 21% support raising the gas tax. The surveys conducted were highly variable and found that drivers in certain areas favor tolling, while drivers in other areas did not. Additionally, this discrepancy was also noted across varying educational and economic backgrounds. Currently, a majority of Texans oppose tolling, but surveys suggest that they would support such policies if benefits can be obtained. On a more personal note, they attempted to implement a toll road in El Paso, and essentially the whole of the community boycotted the road to the point that they ended up taking out the toll road. We do have a new toll road that is in the works and about to open here soon. General consensus is that we'll just do the same thing and boycott that one and get that one shut down too. I guess we'll see. So my analysis of these chapters and readings, particularly in chapter 15, but also 16, and actually the short article also, the key to all of this infrastructure talks is budgeting. There's very little money that has to go across the board to numerous different projects and programs, and you know, you have, as stated earlier, the Fed and the states that are dishing out different requirements and mandates to the municipalities, but then not giving them the resources to complete these projects. Going back to chapter 16, in the section speaking to becoming more politicized and seeking out support, not just at the local level, but also at the state level, and then ultimately at the Fed, attempting to gain support and dollars for new projects, but also for maintenance of existing projects is the key. So moving on, my questions for you guys are: do you think that taxpayers should benefit from money earned by municipalities via recycling? Because I don't know if you knew this, but a lot of those things are those resources, and they are sold. So should you get a piece of that action because you chopped all that stuff up into your recycle bin, or is that city money and you're just glad that they got rid of your trash? My second question, still on that same note, is: should solid waste disposal employees be permitted to pick through the garbage and keep whatever they find of value, or is that stuff city property? Or I guess a step further, does it have to remain in the trash? You know, that old saying, one man's trash, another man's treasure. So what do you think? Should they be able to turn your trash to treasure, or what's your thoughts? Thanks for your time and attention. I hope I didn't bore you too much.